Saturday, the 9th. Um, I got we had a nice family night last night, just watching a movie, laughing. Um, it's funny because tomorrow's Mother's Day, and then last night when the kids and I were all making plans for Mother's Day, we like picked out a few movies that we know that she would like. So I was like, go ahead and get those movies set aside or picked out or whatever, so they're ready, and we don't have to try and look up everything on Sunday. And so then last night we were gonna watch a movie. Angie was like, "Oh, let's watch Snatch, this Amy Schumer movie." 'Cause she loves where the guy's like, "My mom," and that was one that we'd already picked out. So the kids were like, "We've already picked this movie," and Mom's trying to pick it early, so that was fun. But we laughed and had a good time, and uh, as all things these days, under the circumstances. Um, and got to bed not too late, which was nice. Well, too late for us. It's like 12:30 maybe. And then same thing this morning. Woke up about 7. I think I woke up about 7 this morning, so like 6:30. And um, I was at first I was just like I'm not going to fall back asleep because I haven't been able to the last couple of days, a few days. But and it's like these mornings I just keep waking up and then I'll instantly, whether I'm consciously trying to or not, it's just Nathanael, memories or something that we did together, or like thinking about like a picture of him or whatever. It's like it gets in my head and then it just right away I just start thinking about that. The last couple mornings I've just been like waking up just like fucking crying and just for fucking 2 hours, and and then so this morning when I woke up, I pretty much started I was trying not to like immediately, if possible, start thinking too heavy, because I was just like I just need to try to fall back asleep. Been so fucking tired the last couple of days, and it's like how it is when you're crying a lot and there's a lot of sorrow. It's just you just get this like fatigue in your eyes, like these muscles, and the back of your neck and stuff. And so I was trying not to like start the day like that. Um, and also not, I mean, you know, not wanting Angie's day to start off with consoling me, or not that she would mind, not that I would mind either, of course, but or consoling her or whatever. But I was just like, take a breath, try not to, like let your mind start going to memories right now. Try to get back to sleep. So I was like listening to something. Um, I was listening to this. I was like, oh, I'm going to put on a podcast, try and fall asleep. So I was listening to Elon Musk on the Joe Rogan podcast because I don't know if I even said this yesterday. I saw that he was on there, and I was like, the last time Elon Musk was on, because Nathaniel loved tech stuff and he loved science and you know all kinds of stuff like that. Big Elon Musk fan and Joe Rogan podcast fan. Um, and so the last time Elon Musk was on there, it's like we talked about stuff that was on there, and Caleb, and brother, and like Lydia, she watches some of the podcasts and things and stuff. So I was like, man, I was like, Nathaniel were, here, oh man, he would love to listen to this, or watch this. So I was listening to that this morning, and then I'm about on the verge of falling asleep, and then I don't remember which memory it was, but it was some memory of Nathaniel when he was small, and just as soon as I think about this, it's like tears start coming, and I made this, like I'm trying to like get control of myself. I'm like, like this deep breath type situation, and Angie must have also been kind of like in between, and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, it's okay. I just thought of Nathaniel, and then just started hugging her, and amazingly, I fell asleep probably around 7:30, and I slept till fucking 10:30, and it was awesome. I had all these. I just have weird dreams, like nothing really related to any of this, but I'm a very deep, vibrant dreamer, and I almost always remember at least snippets to like great detail from my dreams. But I didn't even think about that till I woke up at 10:30, and this dream, like tons and tons of detail still in my mind, is the fact that since the other day, well, of course, Tuesday night I didn't even sleep. So then Wednesday night, Thursday night, um, I didn't remember any of my dreams, which is very odd for me. I don't know, maybe I didn't even get into REM sleep. But when I woke up at 10:30, I was still fucking tired. So it's great that I got that extra 3 hours of sleep. One more good night of sleep, and I might be fairly squared away. But anyway, there's a lot of shit to do today. Um, and so, well, Caleb and I was glad he yesterday had mentioned to Angie before I'd talked to him that he was thinking about shooting, wanting to go to the shooting range. So, um, because Nathaniel's pistol, which is here, which he left at home before his travels, um, I told Caleb yesterday, I think. I said, obviously Nathaniel would want you to have his pistol, so I made sure he knew that yesterday. So then he was wanting to go shoot it. And then I had not, since my brother, like he had one of my father's rifles, and then he had actually a few months ago, because he doesn't really use that one for hunting or anything. He gave that back to me, so I hadn't shot that since I had it back, but I also hadn't shot that in, I don't know, years and years and years. I mean, we used to shoot his rifle. Uh, I mean, in my teens, and but I don't think I'd shot it since I was probably younger than Caleb. So younger than 20, late teens. So anyway, so I took a couple of my pistols. I took my dad's old rifle. I took, of course, he passed away years ago in 2009, and then Caleb took Nathaniel's pistol, and we just went over for 30 minutes. They were by appointment only. I'm not advertising for the beer company itself. Just what was in the fridge. But yeah, so we had a good time, and talked, and it's good to blow off some steam and fucking throw some lead down range and practice and just do something, that's normal, for us. That's just fun. Something that, we when shooting with Nathaniel, we'd have brothers' days out. We'd have, take the daughters, wife, whatever, just something we do every now and then. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And then doing some other tasks. Well, then today, was up for a little while. And then so right about the time I woke up, like 3 or 4 minutes before that, so we just rent here, and our landlord Ryan and his wife Emily, um, which was super sweet. Now I think that just helped the day, you know, add a positive note to the morning. So th- thank you to them very much. I had a text message that was like, "Hey, Luke, blah blah blah. Just want to let you know we're having sandwiches delivered at 12:30." So I was like, "Oh, that's great." And then so I was gonna go on coffee walk or coffee and chili walk down to Oasis, but I was like, we got lunch coming, so had that, and that was delivered, and it was just a awesome fucking spread. I was like, this is gonna posted something on Facebook about it, picture saying thanks, and I was like, this is gonna be lunch and dinner, which it was, and it is still. It's like 8:30 now, so we still have dinner to eat. And then did that, and then standing out, smoking a cigarette, and out front, and Angie was out there, and Lydia was out there. Maybe Charity. She was getting ready for work in a little bit. Charity's fucking hardcore. I mean, she was scheduled for work. Our youngest, 16, she was scheduled for work at the grocery store Wednesday evening. Of course, that was the day in the earlier afternoon she found out that Nathanael passed away. She still wanted to go to work. I was like, you can call in. I mean, obviously, you can call in. But she said no, she wanted to still go in, and which I really could identify with because when my father passed away, I was running a weekly uh, soup kitchen outreach in Mooresville, Indiana, that happened. And it was midweek. I think it must have been Wednesday, I'm supposing. Because I think that's when it mostly was, or maybe on Thursday sometimes. But regardless, my father passed away in a nursing home in Plainfield late that morning. And then I still had that in the evening, and at first I'm like, how can I focus on, cooking food for, leading, there were other people helping, for 40 or 50 people and just whatever. But then, as the day goes on, I'm like, I need something to distract my mind. I need something normal. I need something to where I'm going to have this block of time where, of course, my mind's going to keep going back to Dad's dead now. He's passed away, but, and it was super hard, to do, but it was also on that particular occasion for me good. And, you know, that's the thing is like grieving. I mean, there's a certain amount of overlap, I think, that's common to people, but the way that, we deal with things and the way we grieve, we're not cookie cutters of one another. And, it's like our three children here at home, there are a lot of similarities between them, but there are things that are different. Like Lydia's calling in, she works a weekend shift in the evenings, and which tonight would have been one, and she called in. She wants to be home with the family. Of course, that's a much longer, harder shift too. It's a 12-hour shift, whereas charities are shorter. But she wanted to be busy, and she's worked every shift since then. When right now she's there for another half hour. But anyway, um, so anyway, we were all out front, and I've been thinking about this for a while. But our old family car, which I've done a ton of work to, but it needs a few more things to be road ready again. Caleb's been talking about, buying a vehicle for adventures, maybe a pickup truck, maybe this or that. And it's something I've really been thinking about for a while, but particularly since this, it's like I don't want him to have, which I'm good at, like picking out used cars and, you know, I fucking hate working on cars, but there's a lot of shit that I can do. And I'm good at like picking out used vehicles. But, I'm thinking he's talking about putting thousands of miles on a vehicle going around the United States. And, you buy something used, you're going to be anything decent, at least around here, at least like 3-4 grand. Then you have to put money into it. You don't really know the history at the end of the day. So I was just like, and for a litany of other reasons. So he was standing out there. And then when the ladies all went back inside, I went and I grabbed the keys to their Buick Roadmaster. And I just went out and I was like, I think I gave him a hug and I just put the keys in his hand and I told him that that's his car now, And I think, it was a really nice surprise. Um, and I, reminded him some about the history of the car, which we've had since 2012, months after Granny or my grandma, their great grandma died. And then part of what purchased that car was some of the insurance that she had left. So I was like, and part of that insurance came from part of the estate from my grandfather. So I was like, part of what, brings this car to you is your great grandfather, your granny, great granny, great grandma. And, you remember this car, you grew up in this car, and, and I've put a lot into it, and I know that it's, it's a fucking stud. So I'm like, once you iron these few kinks out, you're going to have a great car for the road and you can sleep in it and it's powerful and it can hold a ton of friends once you get places. And anyway, so I gave him that, and that was really good, and gave him a hug, and of course I cried like a little fucking bitch for a second, and uh, not there's anything wrong with that. And then my mom came over, drove by, and then she hung out for a little while, which is great, and had some of the sandwiches and um, all that. And then Caleb and I walked down to Oasis and we got a coffee and had a little smoke and just talked about the car and about memories and things. Came back and then went over and got stuff for Angie's Mother's Day stuff tomorrow. Her dinner, she loves, her favorite thing ever is our homemade spaghetti sauce. We're gonna make that for her. Got her gifts, stuff from my mom. So we're gonna try to have a great Mother's Day tomorrow. And I've been catching up on more messages. You know, and new people have reached out that just saw stuff, and I've gone back and forth with some others, and that's been really good. And I've had moments today where it's like it hits me, but thankfully, I mean, again, it's another beautiful sunny day. Tomorrow, unfortunately, I think it's gonna be rainy as hell, but no biggie. Um, so just been talking to people, and like a few people, because we didn't give, number one, we don't know exactly everything as far as the details, as far as the cause of his passing. Exactly. We just know that, by all appearances, it was peaceful. He was in his bed, at the Airbnb, and a few other things. But some people will be like, hey, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. What happened? And all we've put on was that he passed away, as it appears, peacefully on travels out west, um, which is all correct, but it's also somewhat ambiguous. But fucking, everything's not everyone's business, kind of thing. And of course, there are people that when we talk to directly, if there's more information, but on our public posts. So no one's really been pushy about that, but a couple of people have like asked twice, and you just have to be nice, and I understand their intentions. And like we had a good friend pass away at the very end of last year, and young, like younger than me, Angie, nice friend, family friend, and the it was never posted what was the cause of the situation. And I remember at the time, it's like, man, I mean, she was so young. It's like, what happened, But we never asked because their family, for 50 reasons, 10 reasons, who knows, could not want to share that, or just they just want privacy. It doesn't have to be something, you know, amiss or out of order. I mean, just in this day and age, it's like everything's so full disclosure. I mean, times like these, sometimes you just want privacy, or you want something that just maybe the closest people know, and not everybody else on the fucking planet knows. And so navigating that, um, but people have been super genuine, and that's been great. Today's just been it's been a better day, but it's been kind of an odd day, and I I heard back from the people at the um, funeral home out there. Well, I called them and then talked to them, so we're dealing with them. Got a packet of things to do, as far as like the cremation and all these types of things. But the thing is, I thought probably it would be like maybe the end of next week we would be going out there to then bring his remains back and spread some ashes out west where he loved. But because of the backlog and all this kind of stuff going on right now, it's looking like it's going to be the next week. So it's probably like 2 weeks, 10 days ish to 14 days maybe. So that's better in some ways as far as like easing travel plans and speed, but it also kind of draws the process out, and then whatever like local celebration of life that we have, and then all that, that's something that we thought would probably be 2 weeks out. Now it's probably like 3 weeks out, but you know. But anyway, I mean, I know from when my dad passed away, it's like as the days move on, most days things get a little easier. Not easy. Like if you let your full attention go to that, or you start looking at old pictures, you start doing this. Of course, it's just gonna fucking come in like just like you know, a tsunami. But on some of these days when you have normal stuff to do every day, you have other things to do. Today I was gonna actually mow the lawn, and folks next door, they were having it looked like an early kind of a Mother's Day kickback. So I was like, oh shit, I don't want to, be running a damn lawnmower ruining their stuff. So putting that off for probably till Monday with the rain tomorrow. And then Nathaniel had a couple of shotguns, so I gave those to his sisters today, or Angie and I gave those to his sisters today. Um, but yeah, I mean, each each day it's like I anticipate, it's a little less of like that tip of the spear of just fucking devastation and misery and just gut wrenching pain emotionally and even physically and distress that is that first moment. And then, you know, and then that next day and the next day, it's like each day that I think is easing up in some ways as far as like the feeling of emotional distress. Um, but there's going to be many times when it just lands on me out of nowhere or any of us, and I just lose my shit for a little while. Um, Fuck, man. And even more, even more people are seeing it, again posting their own pictures and like sharing memories and uh, reaching out, and just you just see just how many people's lives that he impacted, how many friends he had for 20 years old. I mean, I am so joyful that he lived his adventurous dreams, particularly after he became an adult and could travel on his own. He packed so much fucking life into 20 years, and especially the last couple years as he was an adult and a man. Um, that he will never be forgotten, obviously by us and by so many more people. And Lydia, she even shared, like she showed me, I think it was yesterday, this meme that he had sent her just like really recently, and it was this like goofy meme. We like to roast each other and lovingly roast each other and like memes and all this kind of stuff. We send each other shit. And he sent one where it was all the Kardashians or whatever, and his face was where one of them was, and it was like the sexy sister or something like that. And I was like, you know, you should post that. You know, he would love that. I mean, that's Nathaniel. You know, and she did, and you know, made a funny, you know, comment. She's fucking hilarious, and I just remember seeing that, you know, and I was like, I mean, I was happy that she shared it, you know, and some other pictures, but you know, it's just like, it's that normal shit, you know, that just, it's like, it's not always the big stuff that fucks with you, you know, that's like, oh, we're not going to get to go on a vacation or whatever, you know, it's just, I mean, I look back at just the last few messages, you know, it's like, just jokes, and then like a day before we left to go out of town, and we hadn't heard from him for like, I don't know, maybe 2 days or something, but that wasn't out of, like, that was not out of the ordinary for them. Now, like 3 or 4 days, it's like, okay, we start writing more. But, you know, it's like I just rib with him, you know, like I'm dad, you know, he's my son, you know. And I sent him the last message that's in my messenger to him. Of course, he didn't see. But I was, you know, I was just fucking joking. I was like, hey, you know, Dan, I was like, you know, uh, is everything, like, blink twice if everything's okay out there, you know, but he was already gone probably. But if he had seen it, you know, he would have fucking like had a little smile, you know, and he would have like ribbed me back and been like, "Fuck yeah," you know, and that's what I anticipated hearing, like, "Oh yeah, I've been out, blah blah blah," you know, doing whatever for a couple of days or like visiting a buddy or something. You know, it's like I wish I could just send him something right now. I wish I could fucking video chat with him. So what the fuck do you do, right? Well, you know, you love the ones that are here. You talk to them, and they talk to you, and you hug them, and they hug you. But this morning, it was my turn because when I woke up at like 10:30, I think it was, Angie came back in and I could tell she'd been crying and she laid down, and so I just held her for a little while. But anyway, tomorrow maybe, huh? Mother's Day. I hope she has a fucking fantastic day. She's an awesome mom.